Welcome to AI for Independence. I'm just going to give you a little run through of what I'm trying to achieve and trying to engage people and get them participating more. I've noticed that there's just a lot of friction to people who have an impairment and how they use the devices. So once I understood the daily activities required and how people are doing them, then I'm able to sort of assist. So let's move forward through this. Okay, modern daily activity management. So the goal is to help people live as autonomously as possible, and this will help reduce costs and lift productivity of the person. Now, you're not going to get everyone performing perfectly, but if you can just raise it by a percentage and get people a little bit more independent, they'll feel a little bit more in control and able to do things themselves. Setting up smart devices and routines for hygiene, meals, and laundry and wellness. So the devices, you've all got them in your hands, these devices, and they tell you what to do or remind you on time to do things or tell you to get ready for an appointment, and reduce double bookings. So if we can achieve this, we're probably going to reduce a lot of the additional costs. Voice activated prompts and memory. I have had clients with a dementia. They ask the device for when's their next appointment, and they have the device that pops up and tells them who's coming and who's the visitor, and they can get the verbal prompt from that as well as the visual. So that works well. Hands-free communication with families. Clients with quadriplegia can't use their arms, so really navigating around so they can have more control is a good thing. It reduces microtask and burnout from carers from running all the microtasks. So try and reduce the costs and lift productivity of the person as much as I can. Um, so what else we got here? Digital access to essential services. As we go more digital, we need to have access to these MyGov, Medicare apps and the portals. And to do that, when the government's putting out something like a two-factor authentication is required for Centrelink or the MyGov app, and how to set that up, yes, they can call up over the phone, but if you don't know the environment they're dealing with or the type of phone they're dealing with or the software on the phone or the malware or the other problems, they could maybe go to the store, but the store is more encouraging them to purchase something new, which a lot of clients are on pensions and stuff, which is really limiting what we can do and lift the efficiencies, because efficiencies come from the technology, and the more people we can get to participate and be part of it, the better off things will be. Helping participant book appointments, upload forms and report income. So some of the doctors, and when you're applying to go to some of the appointments require you to upload forms and things or sign forms or do this, and it requires some skills on the device to do that, because not a lot of devices have assumed software in them. So I've seen some of the lower quality devices really don't even have the QR code built into the camera app, so it doesn't bring up the link. You have to get another app to bring up the link, and so people are left behind, and they don't know it's not there, and they don't know that it's not working until I've gone, hang on, we've got to adjust this. So bit of mucking around, but once that's done and understood, then they move forward quite quickly. Supports day-to-day management, life and admin would otherwise require support worker to do manually. That's fair enough. Personal controls, smart tech use personal and domestic activities, teaching participants use voice controls. Now, turning on fans and lights, this is really, I'm finding people in wheelchairs who got their hands full all the time need to turn on the lights. I have had a client who's fallen out of a chair in the dark, and I found out that when you're if you're a para and you fall over your wheelchair, you can't actually reach the light switches. So having a voice controlled light switch, voice controlled light was just personal safety for her. Turning on fans, like clients with EMS have a voice control fan that they can turn on to cool down, because they're unable to, even late stage, they're unable to use their arms to take the quilt off or anything. So turning on a fan could help environmental control. Cooking timers or plugs. We have got voice control plugs. So if a carer is helping someone but cooking something or using something that's plugged into a PowerPoint, they can actually call out if it's set up correctly to turn that thing off, to reduce another problem. Checking weather. Clients like to check weather to know what clothing they need to go to the hospital, or and news and information. I was up at the hills and a fire was coming through, and so an alert came through, which is obviously important. Voice control calendar access for appointments. Asking the calendar for appointments and it talking back is actually really handy for a lot of clients. So, and then that connects to a visual calendar, so the support workers can assist in managing the appointments and things on the customer's device. So it's really in the customer's control. It says replaces physical supports, possibly. I'm a big fan of having people there, but I do know that reducing the micro tasks they're doing is actually making it more efficient for them to get the other jobs done. I know ultimately they'd like to have no staff there because staff are the cost, but at the end of the day, it's better for us to have reduced the technical tasks to the devices and let the support workers do what they do well. All right, password access. To do most of the online services, clients need to have some sort of password management tool. Now, there are third-party ones, but as clients don't have a lot of income, usually all these software tools are cost. And that $2 or $10 a month coming out isn't just another cost that there's, it's unaffordable at the moment, where we can lift efficiencies by using what's already built in the device and doing it properly. It takes a little bit of onboarding to get the head around it and comfort, and knowing that it's in their control and it's in their system. Um, they you know try and use the other services to go and get it done in such a short time is not possible, because you need to know the conditions of the surrounds and the environment. And you know anyway, secure, so they got secure access to the NDIS portal, their banking, and the NDIS plan manager for assistance, and they're able to make calls easily. Tools are required for access to funded supports. Without them, they're locked out of their plan and stuff. Keeping in touch and getting them to able to engage and find out where their plan is and how they're going with it is can only be good. Outcomes connected with communications. So the government's requiring two-factor authentication on things. Understanding that, sometimes I'm finding that the client's device is just not up to scratch, or they don't understand the software they need to do it, or which software they're going to use. And when the two-factor, say, for example, the Authenticator app, um, they get locked out of that, then that's another level of problem as well. So being able to reconstruct the Authenticator app if they're using that, or even better, connecting it to their fingerprint or their face print, is just a lot better idea. But making sure they have the device to do it. Information access, news, as I said before, making sure they're okay. And health bookings. I'm finding that a lot of companies want an email address and password to book their doctor's appointments, and just for security, which is fair enough. But it does make it hard when people aren't au fait with this bit of software does it this way, and what kind of passwords can you use or can't use. And bookings, same thing. Upfront gap payment, so having the ability to pay or feel confident enough to use your card online, or have a separate account for that card, or whatever you want to do. Some of the doctors are asking for the gap up front, or they were going to take money if you didn't attend but didn't tell you they weren't. There's a little bit of a thing going on there at the moment, I'm seeing, with a few service providers that are doing unnecessarily. So yeah, that's that. Let's have a look at this one. So most people think of connection is what I'm trying to achieve, and connection is only a small part of the picture. Like, most people have connection. Just depends on how they're doing it. I have had some connections that have just locked up and stuck in NBN Co or somewhere like that. They're not moving forward, and the client's been without internet for 5 months, and they need to access all these tools and services, and you got people coming in helping them out, but they just can't do certain things, so it just sits there. So I'll go in and fix it up, make the calls, and solve that. People need the ability to sign PDFs, and because this is the new way everyone wants to interact now, they're like, the team's trying to save money, so they're going, we're doing everything digitally, but the clients aren't ready for that yet. So, and there's a lot of them out there who just sort of semi-refuse, so still use paper, but some companies just don't get the work because they've made it too stringent on the clients. Use authentication code, being able to, as I was speaking about before, being able to use which app for your authentication codes. Are you allowed to, if something goes wrong, can you just get on another phone, get the authentication code? Have you got multiple authentications just in case? Password management, how to find and see your passwords without paying more money. Upload docs. This is a problem. People don't know where their documents are, and they're trying to upload them. They don't have scanners anymore. They don't have printers, and it's just a requirement to do that kind of thing. And unknown callers, managing that. I have been testing out some AI software to manage calls, incoming calls, and it seems to do an all right job. It's great for people managing like cognitive issues, I found that they need to be able to have not unknown callers, but unknown callers. Yeah, I know the tax department call from an unknown caller number, and a lot of other services call from unknown caller number. So, but even like, you have a new provider call up from a mobile number, or a nurse or something from a mobile number, and they have to be able to answer the call. So it's really end to end. End to end meaning the end being not just the point in the wall, excuse me, but actually the point of finishing it so they can use their services. Orchestration outcomes is sort of a nice name to, cover it all. Support to configure assistant technology for personal tasks, guidance using smart apps for daily personal household tasks, support with device-based participation in essential daily activities. So if you do need would like to look into it more, the website's down the bottom there, alanwade.net, and you can have a look at all the materials there. There's enough stuff for you to have a look at. If you need my help, you can always contact me. The details are on there in the website. Anyway, all the best, and I will hopefully hear from you soon.